Welcome to class today. Who is in the building? Okay, I see that we are ready. I've been here just watching your comments. Moranuba Princess, welcome. Yes, the art of elimination. Um, I see Joku Favor, Faith is here. Um, Moranuba Princess. We have Ovohokunola. Welcome everyone. Welcome. How was day one and day two? How do you feel right now? How are you doing? How was your day one experience, your day two experience? How did it go with you? I'd like you to share with me. Share. I'd love to read your comments. Yes, what happened? Let me see. For day two, yesterday, a lot of you shared your feedback. Mm. Shared your feedback in the room, and it was quite fascinating just reading through all of those things that you all shared. I want to celebrate you. So before I go on, Edward Bali, how are you? Before I go on, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I think this is the first time I'm asking. I've even forgotten about that. But nonetheless, let's subscribe. If you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe so that others can join us, see what's going on here, so that you can always be notified each time there is a session, okay? Like Favor said this morning, try as much as possible to go through all previous sessions if you've missed out on anyone, and ensure you don't miss out on other editions that will be coming in the next few days that we have left of this very journey, so that you can get the best out of it. I want to celebrate you. 10 of you are in the room already. Welcome. If you can hear me clearly, type in the room. Coach Faith, I can hear you. If you can hear me loud and clear, I'd like you to type in the room that you can hear me. That you can hear me. Type in the room that you can hear me. Yes, I love to read from you. We are ready, designing a productive year, day three. Designing a productive year, day three. Like I said before, this is an immersion. This is a time for you to learn on a deeper level, to set a place for what is to come, for the things that God actually, okay, you can hear me, thank you. For the things that God has actually, productivity is such a game changer. And to crown it all, we're discussing purposeful productivity. Not just any kind of productivity, but purposeful one. The one that can set you ablaze. And today's conversation is centered around the art of elimination. Yesterday was about purpose to priority. We spoke so much about the one thing, prioritization. The first day was really centered around purpose, values, and all of that. So it's been on clarity. We're rounding up on clarity today so that we know that our foundations are set, that we are now ready to move to the next level. All right, from tomorrow, we're going to be talking about systems. Systems. Now we have clarity about our purpose, we have clarity about our values. How many of you got the purpose clarity workbook? If you got it, type I got it. You should get the purpose clarity workbook to help you truly zone in. All right. So we've spoken about our values. I also have a workbook coming on board, a guide, compass guide for you to structure and unravel your value on a deeper level. Anticipate it tomorrow. Okay. And so we've been able to put all of that together. Now we have clarity to a level. Okay. We may not have it 100% yet, but I want you to know that from tomorrow we're going to be building on that so that we can have a formidable system that can set us ablaze. Okay. So today is the art of elimination. The art of elimination. If you are ready, type I'm ready. Then I'll share my slide. I will tell you ready. If you're ready, tell me how ready you are for today's class. Can you guys actually see me clearly? Let me check from my end. I hope I'm not on a slow motion. If you're ready, okay, you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see. Um, portrait is live. 15 of you are watching. Okay, I can see that it is so beautiful. I'm looking so beautiful. Okay. Mm-hmm. We are good to go. Good to go. Okay. You're ready? Ready? Okay. If you're ready, let's go. We're going to do this on a deeper level today. Talking about the art of elimination. Let me share my slide. Mhm. Let me share my slide. Okay. Designing a productive year, day 3. Designing a productive year, day 3. Okay. The art of what? Elimination. Cutting the clutter, keeping the goals. You know, whenever we talk about clutter, somebody should type clutter in the room. Type clutter, 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 clutter in the room. I love to see that. Whenever we talk about clutter, we're talking about anything that sort of steals your attention without moving your life forward. I like to type that in the comments. Anything that comes to steal your attention without moving your life forward, it's a clutter. Yes, anything that steals your attention. In fact, the first time I heard about the word decluttering, okay, I read about it, decluttering in a book. I will never forget. It blew me away. I was so enthused by that word. Like, oh my God, decluttering? What does that even mean? So when we talk about clutters, we're saying in terms of distraction, it is anything that steals your attention without moving your life forward. Okay? Many a times clutters are not always loud. They are not obvious. They are subtle. Or most of them are habitual. They're the things that we do every day on autopilot. We just live our lives as it comes without even knowing that things are happening. Okay, so we have different forms of clutters. We have digital clutters. Of course, in today's conversation, when we talk about the art of elimination, we're going to be seeing how we can cut all of these clutters away so that we can dig into the gold that we have within us. Do you see that? So when we talk about clutters, we have digital clutter. I like to type that in the comments. Digital clutter. We'll talk about emails, endless notifications, social media scrolling, and all of that. Then we also have meta clutters. Meta clutters. Type that in the room. When we talk about meta, we're talking about mentality. Meta clutters, where we have unresolved thoughts, worries, overthinking, emotional noise, and all of that. Then we also have what we call commitment clutter, where you keep saying yes to the things that do not align with your vision. Commitment clutters. We have environmental clutter. I like to write that down. When your workspace is messy. I didn't really notice this very experience until I started to employ people to work with me, when they are able to set up my space for me, they're able to clean up my space for me. And I started to see the love and the way I started to become very productive at that level. Do you see that? So if your environment is messed up, it's going to clog up your mind as well. Okay? You have to understand that there's such a thing as environmental clutter. We have information clutter, a lot of them, okay? Where you have too many courses you paid for, but you've not been able to go through them. You have too many books you bought, you have not read them. Podcast sessions, a lot of different platforms that you are so engaged in. That's why we have to make designing a productive year a life class, a daily life class. It's not easy on my part, but we have to make it a daily life thing so that you can take it seriously. Because if we had recorded this, I'm not certain. I'm not certain that a lot of people would even show up. Okay? Yesterday, I saw that over 200 watched the video of yesterday. I know we are over 800 in the room. Okay? Can you imagine that? I mean, on the day one, I think we're over 300 that watched the video. Several say I'll watch it later. Don't be part of those who say they watch it later and they never get to watch the videos. Okay? So, information clutter is also another one. Okay? We have emotional clutter. This one is deep. A lot of people are living with resentment. All right. A lot of people today are living with resentment, comparison, the need for validation, unprocessed disappointment. They are living in emotional clutter. We have another one called identity clutter. So we're going to stop here. Identity clutter, where you are living multiple versions of yourself at the same time. So you are wearing multiple roles. Okay. You wear roles that you have outgrown. You pursue goals that no longer reflect who you are becoming. And the truth is, clutter is misplaced attention. It is misplaced attention. That's what clutter is. Misplaced attention. That's what it is. So when you are distracted at that level, it is going to affect you. So identity clutter is when you have living multiple versions of yourself at the same time. You know this version of you has expired, but you're still trying to carry it on. You see where the Bible talks about adding new wine to an old wine skin. How many of you know where that is in the Bible? If you know it, please type it in the comments or just copy it from the Bible app and place it. Right? The The Bible says that the more we keep on adding old wine to a new wine skin, it's going to burst open. All right, it's not going to be able to stay together. So identity clutter is when you are living multiple versions of yourself at the same time. You know that that version of you no longer serves you. Instead of you to move forward, because really you are on a journey of becoming. But what do? You keep on moving around in circles. That was what happened to the children of Israel in the wilderness. They had a lot of identity clutters. Can you imagine a season where it's almost as though they've not been able to get water on time? Moses is trying to figure out where the next mountain is, where he will go strike the rock and give them water. And these guys are thinking about going back to the land of Egypt. That was an identity clutter. You're thinking about going back to Egypt. Oh, how I wish we are in Egypt. We would have been eating onions and garlic. We will not be here just waiting for you to give us water. All right. That's why I love the approach of Joshua. Joshua is in your face leader. All right. Joshua was the coach. Joshua came in. I was like, see, you guys, you have to be ready to do the work. Okay. You have to be ready to dig your own wells. If you want water, go and dig your own well. All right. Stop looking for free meal. Okay. Because a lot of times, the reason we have identity clutters is because we are still very comfortable. We are still very comfortable. We still live in that echo chamber where we have not been able to move forward. So cutting the clutter is the only way to keep the gold. All right. If you look at a gold in its original form, it has a lot of impurities in it, a lot of clutters in it. It has to be purified. That's to go to fire. So one way to eliminate is by getting ready to go to fire. Come on now. I like to type that in the room. Type fire. It is by getting ready to go to fire. Yes, you've got to be ready to go to fire. That's how you get purified. Because a lot of times we're so used to the echo chamber. We're so used to that cooking. We're so, like I said yesterday, that the body craves the familiar. We're so used to that. And as such, we're not willing to let go. Even when there is a relationship we need to purge, there is a commitment we need to let go. There is whatever it is that we need to delete from our lives. We find it very difficult. So you must understand that cutting the clutter to keep the gold is going to take a lot of purification. All right, it's going to take a lot of purification. Some of you after this class, you're going to go reassess your friendship, your relationship with people. Okay, so you know your values already based on what we've done. Okay, you've been able to identify your wanting yesterday. Now comes the hard part. This part is very difficult because it's a part where you've got to be ready to let go. Okay, today you're going to learn to eliminate everything that doesn't serve your highest priorities, everything that doesn't serve your highest priorities. That's what we're going to let go today. Okay, this is where most people fail. This is where a lot of people fail when it comes time for them to eliminate. All right, elimination method. When it comes time for them to let go, some people can substitute easily. Oh, this one is going, I take this in. Some people can superimpose easily. For example, in friendship, in relationship, the relationship that no longer serve you. A lot of times we know how to superimpose. All right, how do we superimpose? We go into a fresh relationship, but we still try to superimpose the emotions of the past into the present because we love that emotion so much, because we're already used to the emotions and we don't want to let go. But elimination is for the tough people. It's for the tough-minded people. Okay? Letting go. Purging yourself to say, I'm no longer comfortable with it. Here is the bitter truth that I want you to look at. You are drowning in commitment you never wanted. The average person says yes to 60% more than they should. Okay, that's by Harvard Review. Another one says committees you don't care about. You see, projects that drains you, obligations that fill your best hours. That is what we get to commit to all the time. 60% of the time, Harvard Business Review says we keep saying yes instead of what? Saying no. It is time for you to let go. Okay, today we're going to look at the a yes or no decision framework, and we're going to learn how to audit our current commitment. Like I've spoken about the different clusters. Okay, yes, I too went to church. Welcome, you. All right, so like we spoke about um the different clusters already. So we're going to learn how to audit our current commitment to those different things. We're going to learn how to audit them, and then we'll create our stop doing list. Just like you have your to-do list, there's what we call the stop doing list. So you can stop doing the things that are no longer necessary. The 80-20 rule of productivity, I'm going to re-emphasize that. And then we'll also talk about how to exit gracefully from draining commitment. Okay? By the end of today, you're going to be able to save as much hours as possible. Okay? To ensure that you are able to do the work. So let's start with our commitment audit. You're going to pull out your calendar right now, and then you're going to list everything you are committed to. That is your work right now. I like to type them in the comments. When you type them in the comments, also use one hand to be writing them on your book. The things that you are committed to, you're going to write them down. Okay? Your possibly your weekly meetings, your volunteer work, your social obligations, your project, all right? Your subscriptions, your hobbies you are forcing, friendship that no longer serve you. You're going to write down your commitment audit. I mean your commitment so you can audit them. Okay? So you can audit them. Write them down. What are you committed to on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? We're going to write them down. Remember, today is for elimination. I said we're not superimposing, we're not substituting, rather, right? We are eliminating. We want to delete, delete, delete. We're going to press delete buttons today because this is productivity. We've got to be ready to say the way it is. We've got to be ready to face the hard truth. Somebody says Facebook, come on now. So you're going to write that down. Committed to Facebook. What else are you committed to? Tell me in the comments. I want to read from you. What are you committed to? You're going to write them down. Committed to Facebook, committed to this, committed to that. All right. You are going to write them down. Okay. As you get to write them down, it will be easier for us to know what no longer serves us. Okay. I'm waiting for you. Are you writing? Are you writing? Write down at least 10 of them. At least 10 of them. When you are done writing, type done and then we'll move on to the next. When you are done writing, type done and then we move on to the next. I'm waiting. Are you done? I'm not seeing done in the room. Are you done? Should we move on? So somebody says Facebook, what else are you committed to that is draining your energy? Okay, this is the framework for a yes or no framework. A yes or no framework. So you are going to look at this framework. And what that simply means is if it's not a resounding yes, that's what we mean by a yes, all right? Or hell yes. If it is not a resounding yes, a capital letter yes, a big yes, this framework was created by Derek Sivers, all right? If it is not resounding in your mind that this thing requires your commitment this week, all right? There comes a week where you are not too on, on a platform. Yesterday, I spoke about the need for you to understand how to say no. That no is a complete sentence. So if you pair that with a yes now, we're saying if it is not a resounding yes, if it is not a resounding yes, then it has to be a no. So by the time you write down all of those commitments and you've looked at it and you're asking yourself, is this commitment required in my life right now? Capital letter yes or big letter no? All right, a big no, right? You write that down. Somebody says TikTok, another person says house chores. Okay, house chores is something that you have to do, except you have the capacity to pay someone to do that for you, right? If you do, please do so. Okay, please do so, because many a times we may be thinking we are saving money for ourselves, but at the end of the day, just realize that the hours you spend on a daily basis doing those things, you can actually pay somebody for that. Okay, so beyond just social platforms, remember I spoke about the different clutters. Should I remind us of the clutters? I spoke about the different clutters. I spoke about identity clutter. Identity clutter has to do with you living multiple versions of yourself at the same time. Emotional clutter, that could also be a commitment. All right, maybe there's a disappointment that you face, there's a comparison, there is a resentment, and you still carry them on. You have refused to let go. You have refused to throw them away through the window. We spoke about information clutter, consuming content that sometimes you get those things and you are not able to really connect, like boost courses and all of that. We spoke about environmental clutter, commitment clutter. So possibly our shots could actually fall under commitment clutter. What do we call it now? Could actually fall into commitment clutter. And I also spoke about digital clutter. Many of you are mentioning digital clutter now. Nobody has spoken about mental clutter, where we talk about unresolved thoughts, your worries, your pains, overthinking. Those are things you need to also write down that you are committed to. All right. You have to also write them down because many times when we are committed to them, okay, it becomes a problem. Do you get that? So that is it. You have to be ready to write them down. When you go back, think about all the clutters and write them down. So whatever it is that does not energize you, does not align with your one thing, like we said yesterday, will make you continue to regret. And if you hesitated in all of those, it's a no. If it doesn't energize you, all right, if it does not align with your one thing, if it's something you get to regret about, you've got to be ready to let go. Let go. It's a no no. It's a no no because some of these things they place so much weight on us. They become clutters on our mind and we're not able to carry on with our lives. Okay? So you're going to go through your commitment list and ask yourself in each one of them, is it a yes or a no? So 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort, Pareto principle. So most of what you do doesn't matter. Okay? Your job, identity, the 20%, okay? You've got to be ready to double down. Cut the 80% off. Look at your task list. What 20% create 80% of my outcome? Do more of that and eliminate the rest. So if you look at the things that are really bothering you right now, in terms of your clutters, your worries, your pains, your disappointments, thinking about marriage, okay? Thinking about marriage. Thank you for sharing that. All right, and all the things that are bothering you right now. You discover that if you can cut down on a lot of them, you are actually going to get results. You are actually going to get results. Imagine somebody who's thinking about marriage, for example, like what one of us has shared here. You discover that if you flip that around and say, okay, what is really my value? What's my purpose? Let me zone in on that. Let me zone in on my purpose and my values and the things that connect to where I'm headed. You put in your 20% of commitment and energy. Trust me, marriage will be sorted. Okay? Marriage will be sorted. Worries will be sorted. Pains will be sorted. Disappointment will be sorted. This is something that I do all the time based on my own personal journey. I don't worry so much about life, about the things that I do not have control over. Each time something happens, the next thing, I have this fighting spirit, this resilience spirit that God gives. Each time things happen, the next thing for me would always be, what's next? What can I do to solve this problem? What solutions can I bring to the table? It's a winning mindset. What solutions can I bring to the table? I think I started to develop this mindset at a tender age. I remember following my grandmother to the market 7, 8 years, 9 years. I would follow my grandmom to the market and I would go sell things with her, right? In the days, for market days, I would not go to school. Sometimes I would go to school, I'll come back on time. I'll go and I'll help her. I remember when my grandmom became very ill, about the time of 11 years old or thereabout, I started to go to the market myself. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was just thinking about that experience a few days ago. I'm like, come on, what kind of resilience was that? I started to go to the market myself. I will buy the goods, I will sell them, I'll bring money home, I'll buy food items. So it was about 2 or 3 years later my grandma passed on. You see, I'll buy food items. So when my grandma passed on, I was already a professional businesswoman at the age of 13. Yes, I was doing business. I was taking care of my grandfather at that time. You see, there are several level of doggedness that we've been able to amass over the years. But because of clutters, those kind of energies that we have, they don't come alive. They don't become very productive to yield results in our lives because we are bedeviled with worries, pains, disappointment, and all the clutters, all the challenges that we're carrying on mental clutters, emotional clutters, commitment clutters, identity clutters. We are bedeviled by all of them and we're carrying them around like baggages. Even the Bible says that we should lay up our pains and problems before God because He cares for us. There's a portion in the book of Psalm, I think it's Psalm chapter 55, that says, cast your burdens upon the Lord for He cares for you. We carry so much weight and burdens that we are not able to move swiftly. We are not able to do the things that we ought to do. So let's also audit our energy. We're talking about our commitment. Let's talk about our energy. I don't know if you can see the slide from there, but I have to look at it from this end. It's looking so small. Okay. Okay. So you see that at the end of the day, Some task comes to drain us, others come to fill us. Okay, others comes to what? To fill us. Okay, somebody says disappointment, fear of the unknown, and social media. Interesting. Okay, okay, thank you. You can see the slide. Interesting. Disappointment, fear of the unknown. Okay, social media. All right. So energy givers, we have to know them, and then we also have to know our energy takers. So if somebody comes into your life for friendship or relationship, you have to be able to know that person is an energy giver or an energy taker, right? If that disappointment you're thinking about is taking away energy from you, what do? You think about how to flip that situation around, how to flip that situation around so that you can begin to get results, right? So energy givers are the things that leave us energized and in a state of flow, right? One of these days we're going to talk about flow psychology. Such a powerful concept to help you stay swift on the path of personal development and impact. All right. Energy takers are the ones that leave you exhausted. All right. So you've got to be able to make two columns today, right? Auditing. You make two columns, you categorize everything. The commitment we spoke about before, you know, categorize them now. Okay? You categorize them. Are they giving me energy? Are they removing? Are they giving me energy? Are they removing? Look at the different clutters. Write down your commitment. Are they giving me energy? Are they removing? So your goal at the end of the day is to eliminate or to delegate your energy takers. All right? Eliminate or delegate those ones that are stopping you or that are stalling your growth. I remember this friendship that each time I'm with this person, my energy gets drained, right? I'm 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 tired, I'm exhausted, and I'm asking myself series of questions. Why did I even embark on that conversation in the first place? Why did I go to that person's place? How many of us have been there? Those are energy takers. You have to find a way to let go of such relationship, right? Yesterday, somebody asked me, how do I begin to grow when I'm in an environment where people are not interested? I said, deliberately begin to curate your identity circle. How many of you can remember identity circle? If you can remember, type it. Begin to deliberately curate your identity circle. That was the conversation yesterday. So in your relationship, you've got to be ready to know those who are giving you energy and those who are taking away from you. Simple. There are no two ways about it. For someone who wants to be purposefully productive, you must know this. It's going to be painful, like I said before I started this class, that today's class is all about, it's all about, you're going to cry. Some relationship will leave you and you cry. But I was listening to someone recently, he's apparently in his late 50s, and he was talking about the fact that he's not afraid to leave relationship. I'm like, oh my God, sir, maybe because you are your sisters, I believe so. I'm not afraid to lose relationship. I'm not. Let me share a story with you guys. I remember vividly, I can never forget this friendship. This friendship was in secondary school. There was this lady that were so close, we were wonderful friends. And remember in those days, we'll be going home from school. She'll follow me to my house. I'll follow her to her house. She'll follow me to my house. We wash our plates. We clean the house. We go to her house. We do the same. We come to my house again. We read. You know, that's how we'll be doing it till the end of the day. Sometimes it is when it is now 7 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. We'll now meet halfway. We'll now be saying bye, bye, take care. Remember, I said at that time my grandmother had died, so it was not me and my grandfather. So I had the time to have friends. It was just one friend anyway, not so multiple friends. We're so bonded and all of that. We're so connected. I remember when that friendship ended. Oh my God, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. For so many years, I did not recover. For so many years, I did not recover from it. How many of you have been there? So when that man was saying, you have to understand that for me, I'm not afraid to lose relationship. How many of you are in that same circle? Like you're not afraid to lose relationship. Would you? Are you in that circle? Who is Nanem? Nanem? Are you in that circle? Like you're not afraid to lose relationship. Who is the princess? Are you there? Who else is there? I see Sly. Sly, are you afraid to lose relationship? Oh, Ruth says I'm not afraid. Did you guys say what I said, or possibly it's a reality for you? Is it a reality that you're not afraid to lose relationships? Lydia says me. Oh, Onyeshi says I'm not afraid to lose relationships. Are you sure you are really sold into this relationship? Like you are really sold in? It's the way we say it in my language. I don't know how many of you that are from there that would understand. You see, there's a way we say, okay, let me say it in English. The kind of friendship, we call it, my grandmother used to call it French. My grandmother used to call this kind of friendship, if we don't see each other, we will not go to farm. There's a way we say it in my dialect. It's so sweet. Like that friendship that if you will not see each other, you not go to farm or you not go to the market. How many of you understand? Like, is there a saying like that in your tribe? Like friendship that people will say, this one is if we don't see each other, we'll not go to the farm. Okay, so I'm not afraid to lose relationship. Okay. Interesting. Are you sure it's that kind of relationship that's so intimate, that's so close, 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 and it's been for a long time? Uh-huh. Oh, Uju says, yes, I'm not afraid. I've lost so many. There is this position we also get to place ourselves. Let me say this, that we have lost some kind of relationship that really broke our heart so well. And now we don't give ourselves so much into friendship or relationship, and that's why we're not afraid to lose them. Can that also be the factor here? Okay, I see one person now who says, I'm scared of losing some relationship. Beautiful. I'm scared of losing some relationship. Okay. Uju says, well, I never kept such a relationship in the first place. And okay, I see the dimension now. So some of you are not giving yourself too much. Or like me at the same time, we're not giving ourselves so much. So most of our friendship now are in the outer circle. We have friends that are in the outer circle, we have those in the inner circle, and then we have those in the holies of holies. If you lose those in the holies of holies, you will understand. The ones in the holies of holies are like a brother. The Bible calls a brother that sticketh closer. Okay, a friend that sticks closer than a brother. All right, that kind of holies of holies friendship. We're not talking about inner circle or outside the circle. All right, the gentle kind of relationship. Okay, somebody says, I'm afraid. So that is it. We've got to be ready to audit. That's what we're saying. Energy auditing. On energy auditing. Okay. Yeah, energy auditing. We've got to be ready to we've got to be able to put ourselves in a position where we sort of understand, because sometimes these things are subtle. Like I said, clutters are subtle. Subtle. They are habitual. We may not even know them until we become very, very intentional. Someone says only of holiest. That one is deeper than only of holy. So only of holiest. So at the end of the day, you realize that, okay, you realize that in this very circle, there is so much that we can begin to do on an intentional level, because if we're not careful, we get drained and we don't even know it. All right. We have to do that. So now let's talk about the stop doing list. The stop doing list. So you're going to write down, now you've written down your commitment, you've audited your energy, you're going to go write down your stop doing list. Okay. You are going to create your stop what doing list. Meetings that waste your time, relationships that don't matter, projects that don't align, people pleasing commitment. Okay. Apps that distract you, digital clutters, right? Apps that distract you. There's also this app you can begin to use. The Freedom app is a very good app, can help you regulate your digital platforms. Okay. Okay. So we also look at habits that drains us. It's very important. Habits that drains us. So this list is endless. Okay, this is what I've written down, but you go do your own. The stop doing list. Okay, the stop doing list. You are the type that do certain things that relates to your environment. We also spoke about environmental clutters. Remember, okay, your environment, your emotions, and everything. You've got to have your stop doing list. If I were you, family, I will write these things down and I'll paste them on my walls or get a vision board. A vision board can be a notice board, the one they call notice board in schools. All right, that one that has some kind of cushion in inside. All right, like a foam, like something. So you get this A4 papers. That's what I do. I get A4 papers, and then you get your pin. Okay, you can pin them. Whatever it is you write, you can pin them. So many times, if I want the writers to be bold, I can use markers, what we call markers, that we use in schools, either permanent or the other one, to write boldly. Okay, whatever it is you want to do, it could be red, it could be blue, it could be green. Maybe your stop doing it could be written with red. Danger, danger, danger. Each time it happens, you go back, because the reason these things are important is because it's not going to happen overnight. The reason Coach Faith is teaching this class tonight is not that it will happen today. No, it's going to take time. Some of them will take years for you to let go. All right. Some of them will take years. Some of them you have to pray your way out of them. There was a friendship I needed to pray my way out of. I think I've shared it in several sessions. I needed to pray my way out of that friendship, trust me, like it wasn't adding up. The last time I was like, oh my God, this friendship just has to go. Holy Spirit of God. All right. I've had to pray my way out of some platforms, and all of that. I pray my way out of them. Platforms that no longer add up. Sometimes even volunteerism that is draining my energy. I remember there was one I almost got entangled with. Okay, volunteer platform. I kept on saying, well, I cannot carry the weight of this body. And they kept on saying, yes, you have capacity, you can do. Of course, I know I have capacity. But what I was doing was already draining me. I needed to let go. I was just Holy Spirit. How best do I tell these my people that love me so much, that are mentors, that I have served over the years, that I cannot do this anymore. That I am at the level I am now, there's so much commitment laid upon my shoulder. I needed to pray my way out. So that is what I'm saying, that it is a very serious matter. Okay? Some of us have orphan spirits right now because we're living in an environment, we're doing the things that we know we do no longer have the capacity to carry on, that we've not been able to let go. Okay? We've not been able to let go. So they stop doing this, can be written with your red pen, okay? So that each time you look at it, you're like, oh my God, this thing has to go. Oh, I can't keep up, I can't cope, and all of that. So it's very important. Remember, it is purposeful productivity. And because it is purposeful, certain things will have to take time. You don't have to do boo, 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 boo. All right, it has to be by fire, by thunder. Oh, Coach I said it tonight. Everybody in my family that does not like me, that does not like my face, each time I show up, they drain me. Oh yeah, don't call me anymore. Oh my God, people around my circle, my workplace, no, it takes time to do that. But you have to be deliberate. It starts from how well you are able to write them down. You are able to what? Write them down. The more you write them down, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes. Like I did mention some of them before: meeting overload, email addiction, social media platforms. Okay, we spend 2.5 hours daily on average, according to what data reporter. Okay, we check our emails 15 plus times daily according to Adobe. Okay, average employee attends 62 meetings per month. Interesting. These are alarming statistics. Okay, these are alarming statistics, and they happen. They happen. Okay, they happen. Do you see that? So it's important that we intentionally begin to see how we can help ourselves. Okay, let's also talk about email detox. Email detox, very important. Email detox. Okay, email is other people's agenda for our lives. Yesterday I spoke about you asking yourself, is it my urgency or their urgency? Is this one my obligation or their obligation? Is it? All right, you have to unsubscribe from some platforms. I think you should also understand that WhatsApp groups are also on this very very environment. They are in the same circle, they are the same people. Okay. I know Africans, most of us from this part of the world, we use WhatsApp more than we use emails. All right. People from the West tend to use emails more than they use WhatsApp. Okay, so they are all in the same category: WhatsApp detox, email detox. All right. The reason WhatsApp is also such a pandemic for a lot of people is that they're in several WhatsApp groups. How many of you started to see that most times when people are talking, they say, oh, I'm not in that WhatsApp group. It became like a thing that people can use as a metaphor to describe certain experiences, because people are in many WhatsApp groups, hundreds of them. Okay, I was in a WhatsApp group and I left, and somebody reached out to me, why did you leave the WhatsApp group? Why did you leave? Oh, what is it? I'm like, I don't understand. I'm not supposed to be there all through my life. I'm tired. I'm gone. Right? You've got to be ready to let go, detox yourself from those platforms, declutter. It is called decluttering, digital decluttering. Let go, delete apps from your phone that no longer matter. Okay, you can use the Freedom app, like I said before. There's also what they call the code talk with you. They have free versions. Okay, set 30 minutes daily limit. Sometimes you can even go on a marathon sometimes once in a while and say this month I'm deleting this app. I want to focus on this and focus on that. All right, it's important. That detox is important. They call it inbox zero. There's such a concept called inbox zero, where you can have no messages on your inbox. I think I love what WhatsApp started to do recently. They give you access to archive certain WhatsApp groups that you don't receive their notifications anymore. I don't know how many of us have experienced that. You don't receive their notifications. They can drop hundreds of messages and you never get to receive the notification. All right, until possibly one day you scroll and get to that platform You can ask that, oh, I'm actually on those groups. But it also happened. Okay. Those things were done to help us navigate as well. Okay. How many of you are in up to 100 WhatsApp groups here? If you're in up to 100 WhatsApp groups, type 100. How many of you are in up to 200? Some of you are in WhatsApp groups that you don't even remember. You don't even remember. You don't even remember. I'm in over 100 WhatsApp groups personally, but those WhatsApp groups are my groups. Yes, the trainings I've done over the years, just like I have you guys on that group now. So the groups are always there to send reminders for programs. Most of whom my assistant does that. So, but after a while, I love what WhatsApp did for us. It gave us access to be able to put all of these groups in the community. So we now have them as communities. I think there are just about 4 communities or so. We now have them as communities, okay, as communities. But if it is not your WhatsApp group, you're not using it for business, you're not using it for impact, you're just in multiple groups, it's of no it's not of necessity to be there because it is going to drain you. Remember, that space it is collecting in your mind is going to it's going to it's going to affect you. Oh, many of us I know over 100. Okay, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you. There's this thing that mocks do. Mocks do. All right. Um, they there's something I wanted to explain. I think I'll remember. Okay, so you've got to be ready. Okay, so there's such a concept. Um, if you have read the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, I think that's the title. Have you read that book? So you realize that there's something they do. The monks do. They don't acquire so many properties. They don't acquire so many properties. The reason is because they believe that the more properties you acquire, the more your energies are being dispensed to those properties. And that's why the movement of the minimalism started to come on board. I love minimalism myself. I'm a huge fan of it. How many of you have heard of the concept of minimalism? Minimalism. Minimalism. How many of you have heard it? There's a book called Digital Minimalism. There's a book called Minimalism as well. I've read those books. They are very powerful concepts, right? So minimalism says don't acquire too much. Why do you need to buy 100 of dresses when you know that you will not wear more than 10 at a go? Why do you need hundreds of them? Why do you need hundreds of them? As a woman, for example, we get into our kitchen and we have so many items in our kitchen. One woman has 20 pots. What are you doing with them? All right. What are you doing with 20 pots in the kitchen? All right. You arrange them, you stack them up, and you never get to use them in 10 years. All right. Cockroaches and rats and everything, they are feeding on those things. They are hiding somewhere, they are hanging somewhere. So minimalism says you have to be able to reduce some of the possessions that you own. Because according to those guys, they say the more possessions that you have, the more your desires heightens. Okay, your desires will heighten, and of course, the desire of a man to some degree brings a lot of destabilization for people who cannot manage them. For people who do not know how to structure them. All right, they have so many desires and they are not bringing them, they are not coming to reality. So minimalism concept is such a great concept to relate to this elimination method. If you really want to go read more about minimalism, that says reduce your possession, reduce those things. And the reason it is very important when it comes to productivity that we're talking about today is because you are a purposeful person. All right, you're a woman, you're a man on purpose. You're a woman, you're a man on purpose. Okay, why should you begin to dispense your energy into the things that do no longer serve you? That's the conversation. Dispense your energy on things that do no longer serve you. All right, yesterday we spoke about the one thing. The one thing, very powerful concept, right? Now we're saying reduce your possessions. Okay, reduce your possessions. Detox your email. Detox your what? WhatsApp. Minimize all of those different things. So let's also talk about relationship. On average, research has proven that we can make, in fact, the highest number of people can remember if we want to ever connect to people continuously, all right, it's about 150 maximum. That's what our brain can carry. That's what our minds can carry. 150. We're not talking about those in the holiest of holiest. I think it was Princess that shared that idea with us. All right, I picked that up. Now it's no longer holiest of holiest, so it's holiest of holiest. So if it's 150, without 150 cannot get into the holiest of holiest. Look at the concept of Jesus Christ. He had the 500, he had the 70, he had the 12, he had the 3. Okay, the 3 now like the ones in the holiest of holiest. Okay, the 12 are those in the inner circle, and then we have those in the outer court as well, like the 70 and the 500 of them in the outer court. So relationship audit also should play a role that way. You should begin to have the filter, okay, to ask yourself, does this relationship support my growth? Okay, do I feel better after seeing them? Do they respect my boundaries? Do they do they respect my boundaries? Like I would always tell people that vulnerability is not for is not an access to, it is for connection, for all the right reasons and in the right places. That's the truth. Many of us do not know how to handle those kind of do not know how to handle vulnerability, and as a result, we've gotten into wrong relationships. We've we've exposed ourselves too early, and then we are hurt. A lot of things happen, and now we are damaged. Now we are having issues in our emotions. We're carrying baggages, disappointment because we gave too much too soon. We gave too much too early. Okay, people should graduate from one level to another in friendship, in relationships, before you can begin to divulge certain truth. As I'm teaching this class, there are several things you may never know about me, right? There are people who are in my inner circle, for example, the growth garden. Yeah, let me talk about the growth garden. Yeah, the growth garden is my 1 year membership on personal development coaching. I coach every week. All right, almost every day you get to hear my voice in the growth garden. From one or two, there are tools you get to implement here and there to help you grow your capacity for your next level. So if you want to get into the growth garden, it is still on for $100 from now to the end of this month. You can pay on 2 installments if you want. Okay, from now to the end of this month, enrollment is still ongoing. So if you want to join us, welcome on board. Send me a DM after this class. Okay, send me a DM. Send me a DM. If you don't have my WhatsApp number, you can take it down now. My WhatsApp number is 070. Okay, +234 if you are not a Nigerian. +23470. Okay. Um, Favor, can you type that in the comments? Or Faith, if you're there, please type my WhatsApp number in the comments. Okay, so you can send me a DM to get into the growth garden. Yeah, Nana, if you're interested, $100. I also love to have you in the room. Okay, send me a DM, lock a spot, you get on board. I'm always coaching. I've also coached them this morning. Tomorrow we have a session as well. On Friday, I go live with them and all of that. So there's so much going on there. You need to be in the growth garden. Okay, we're going to be having our YouTube channel very soon for the growth garden. So join us in the community so you can grow. You can continue to hear from Coach Ed even after now. Most of the books I've recommended on this program, you have access to them, both my books, both the ones that are normal. You have access to them in the community. You have access to weekly coaching. You can ask me questions on issues pertaining to your personal development journey. Yes, you have access to me. You can send me DMs and ask questions. Okay. Now let's go back to a relationship audit. Okay. So when it comes to relationship audit, we are saying that you've got to be ready to filter. It's important because not all relationships serve you. Some will drain you, some others come to lift you up. Okay? For me personally, if you have me as your friend, you have had the best thing that can ever happen. I'm not even kidding. I'm not saying it by the side of my mouth. I'm a wonderful human being. All right? Because I have the Spirit of God and I treat every one person that I meet as though the person has God on the inside of them. Because I know if you are a child of God, you definitely carry God on the inside of you, and I respect that, right? So, what about you? Are you someone that people can connect with? You don't drain others. So, because before we even start to talk about other people doing this thing to us, how about us? Do we do it to other people? All right? Do we do it to other people? So, you've got to be ready to what? To audit your relationship. How many of us have one, two, three, four that we're going to audit today? Let me know. How many do you want to audit? Do you really want to audit your relationship? Type it in the comments. Audit, audit, audit. It's time for auditing, right? Commitment, energy, relationship. We also spoke about your emails, right? Auditing your relationship. How many of you are going to leave this class and say, yes, I'm going to become deliberate? This is the overall essence of this class, that you become more aware of your journey. All right, because self-awareness is very powerful. In January and February, we have been on, for this January, we've been on the subject of self-awareness. Right, that's it on our curriculum. We laid the foundation. January, February on awareness. You must know yourself. You must understand your identity. You must know you are becoming past season. You must know where you are going. You must understand your self-image, right? Your self-concept, and know what to build on it, how to build on it. That's what we're currently discussing in the community. That's really my teaching, and that will be my teaching to the end of February. Because by the time we are rounding off in February, you would have been so aware of yourself that somebody says, oh, look at how your head is. You're going to be like, oh my God, I know me so well. I know me. I and God know me too well. But I don't understand. I don't concur to that your auditing. I do not concur to that. Okay, somebody says two, two. Okay. Auditing 6, interesting. Okay. Lydia says I will audit 0. It's okay. All right. It means that you don't have any. For now, that's beautiful. All right. So you got to be ready to what? Audit your relationship. Okay. And here's how to exit once you're done auditing. Okay. Okay. So this is how to exit gracefully. You can take this script. All right. You can screenshot, take this script and say, I have been evaluating my commitment. I need to step back from this so that I can focus on my priority. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been your friend, to have been in this circle, but I can't give this attention anymore that it deserves. I cannot give it anymore. All right. So one thing I shared with you all yesterday when it comes to stop being a you may your way to some amazing friendship, okay? That can also help you. I think I started to pray that prayer some time ago, and God did. Yes, I know you can be in that lane per season where you are just all by yourself. Okay. Okay, so like I was saying, when I spoke about the no framework yesterday, okay, I said no is a complete sentence. How many of you can remember? If you can remember, say I can remember. I said no, N-O. It's a complete sentence, a complete one. You don't have to bother yourself to start explaining. You know, we used to do that. I used to do that as well. Like you have said no to someone and you are explaining. You keep on explaining. And you're trying to make the person understand why you said no, why the no should make sense to them, why they should accept the no without feeling guilty, why the no is not about them, all right? That the no is just about, we keep on explaining that. So when you are exiting, you must exit gracefully. Exit from the place of strength and not from the place of pain. Okay? No is a complete sentence, and you must be ready to do that. Okay? So let's talk about the guilt that we somehow can feel. It is called the guilt trap. Okay? If you feel guilty, okay, sometimes it is normal. It's normal. People will be disappointed, project will suffer temporarily, but remember, their emergency is not your obligation. Okay? This thing I'm teaching you now is going to make you to be rugged somehow, rugged, right? Brutal to a level. This is your life we're talking about. It's your life we're talking about. Sometimes we've got to be brutal. Okay? You've got to be brutal. It's your life, it's your destiny. You don't have two lives to live. It's just one that God has given to you. And you must maximize your time. Do you know that you're going to give account of your time spent here on earth? You're going to give account of it. You're going to give account of it, right? So you must be ready to remember that your emergency is not your own emergency. So every yes you say so something, okay, is a no to another thing. Do you see that? Every yes you say to something is a no to another thing. So you must choose your guilt. Do you want to disappoint other people or you want to disappoint yourself? Okay, you choose your guilt and see how you navigate forward. Wisdom is profitable to direct. There's such a thing as opportunity cost. We know this. We have learned it in economics. Opportunity cost. If I'm letting go of this has to come in. If I'm taking this, that has to go. That's it. Say yes to what matters most to you. This is training. Oh, this is training. When we start talking about the concept of boundaries, you're going to understand on a deeper level that it is not easy to set boundaries. My goodness. To set boundaries, it's a lot of work. Okay? Do you see that? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So you've got to be ready to understand from this perspective how to even start from here and start to build and start to build and start to build. Do you get that? And start to build. I think let me address this question by Uju. Is it a question or feedback? Okay, let me just say something about it. She said, there are people in my life I respect, but I don't see them as friends, but as sisters. I look up to them more like mentors. Powerful. Powerful. You're going to have people at three levels, three levels in your life at whatever point you are. Three levels. The first level are those that are your mentors. Okay, we have the level of those who are within your circle, who are the same level as you. We call them your peers, and then we have those that are coming after you. You see these three different levels. You must learn how to set boundaries. You must learn how to honor them. Okay, whether they are coming after you, whether they are your peers, whether that they are above you, whether they are above you, you must learn how to balance people have taken those who were supposed to be their mentors to be their peers, right? They've taken people who were supposed to be their peers to be their subordinates, or what do you call it? So you must learn how to balance. All right. Just wanted to touch on that. You must learn how to create that balance so you don't miss out. Because there are people that are strategically sent to your life for them to bless you in a certain way, and you take them otherwise. And at the end of the day, you don't get the benefits of such friendship or such relationship or such connection. You miss out on a lot at the end of the day. So now let's talk about the white space principle. This one is so close to my heart personally. Okay, it's so close to my heart personally. You know why it's so close to my heart? Because I'm a rugged person in terms of execution. All right, and there's every tendency that if you have so much, if you have so much to do, if you have so much to keep up with, if you have so much to keep up with, at the end of the day, you may not be able to get the best. Okay, so there's such a thing as white space principle. In reading, in learning, we call it space repetition. Space repetition. How many of you did this in school? Like you are learning, you are reading a book, and after a while you decide to drop the book and then you start to regurgitate the lessons that you've learned. You try to remember the things that you have learned from that book. How many of you have been there? You try to remember. Sometimes you even say them to yourself, and people be like, "Oh my God, you're trying to cram." You call it cramming. No, it's not. It's called space repetition. Sometimes we even set questions for ourselves, okay, so that we can remember. Any student who do not know how to do this thing I've just shared with you right now, they will never be as good as others who do them. Some people do it in a way that they will take white papers, all right, some A4 papers, they write down their thoughts, what they've learned from that chapter, from that page they've read, they write them down. They write them down. So when they write them down, it becomes very easy. It becomes very easy for them to be able to use that as an opportunity to to remember whatever it is that they've read, even during exams or whatever. Okay? White space principle is applicable in all areas of life. No matter how productive your day should be, it should be that time that you intentionally set aside to meditate, to brainstorm, to look into your life, and to even say, what is my life up for? Okay, what is my life up for? What's going on with me? Maybe for me, Coach Faith, I would say, why am I even teaching these people? Why am I doing this? What's going on? That's the white space principle. The beauty of it? The beauty of it is that you'll be able to come up with a lot of ideas, a lot of ideas. You'll be able to come up with so much ideas. So in all that we have shared today, you must take home the white space principle. That in all your decluttering, in all your editing, okay, in all your auditing, you must, okay, you must learn how to pick what is most important, and then pick a timing of the day where you're going to sit down and not do nothing. All right, it's just your white space. Okay, maybe you can tell your kids, I'm in my white space right now. Be like, mommy, what's white space? Daddy, what's white space? I'm just meditating upon my day, upon what's going on. I'm brainstorming. Okay, sometimes I do that with nature work. How many of you do nature work here? Okay, okay, do you get what I'm saying? So how many of you do more of nature work? How many of you do more of nature work? All right, how many of you do more of nature work here? Yes, it's the white space. Okay, nature work is that timing where you try as much as possible to just take a walk, maybe around your neighborhood, and then you're just talking to yourself. So that's how I do my white spacing. All right, I do nature walk. I walk around. Just imagine you're in the growth garden, and there's a day I say, go do your white, go do your, go around, go for nature walk. Or what time of the day is your white space today? What do you want to do? Okay, tell me what you're going to do at that time. So white spacing is important. Okay, you must intentionally put at that time for thinking, because it tests for creativity, for research, for spontaneity, and for flow, to also help you get into the zone of flow again and again. If your calendar is always 100% full, trust me, you are doing it wrong. There's even a recommendation I've given, but whatever works for you, that's fine. You can start with 10% of your time every day. You must take time to think. You must take time to brainstorm. Okay? Aristotle once says, knowing that self is the beginning of wisdom. Knowing that self is the beginning of wisdom. Okay? It was Socrates that says, Man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. Oh, somebody says I do nature work. You're beautiful. Man knows it's a productivity skill. If you know how to do nature work, please, if you're in the neighborhood where they kidnap people, don't go at night. I used to do that late in the evening until they told me they kidnap people in this place. Well, because of where I am, sorry, because of the location where we are, if you are living in some same society, you don't have any problem. You can walk around any time of the day, anytime you want to do that. But pick a safe time if you want to do nature work. All right, you can even go to a garden. For example, in the city of Port Harcourt where I live, they have several parks, several gardens. Okay, you can go out, just have your time. Okay, just have your time there. Move around because that time you're talking to yourself and your maker. You see, the Spirit of God on the side of you will be talking to you again. And then both of you just be, having fun. Having fun. Some people will be like, I think in literature they call it soliloquy. Am I correct? Soliloquy. Is it soliloquy to soliloquize? Uh-huh. To soliloquize, soliloquy. So you move around, you have this conversation. Okay? All right? So it's very important. If you don't make that time, your creativity will not blossom. I'm telling you creativity will not blossom. There's also another dimension called envisioning, but the way you do envisioning is different. It's not part of this conversation. The way you do envisioning, and those ones are for visionaries. I teach that a lot in my Vision Amplified Mentorship program. Okay, it's a whole curriculum on how to envision and expand your dreams and expand the purview or the purview of what God is laying in your heart, how to have outlets and channels of expressions, right? So knowing myself is the beginning of wisdom, correct? So on now, come on now. Do you have any question for me? Your day three action steps. Your day three action steps. Your day three action steps. Okay? Three steps. You your commitment. You're going to complete your commitment audit. You're going to create your stop doing list. Please take a screenshot. Don't write. Your commitment audit. Create your stop doing list. 10 items minimum. You exit 3 commitments this week. You're going to exit them. You're going to delete or limit 3 biggest distractions. You're going to block out white space in your calendar. Come on. I know white space is that for a lot of you. Others look tedious, but this one looks simpler to implement, isn't it? Okay, so you're going to block out white space in your calendar. Okay, it's gonna hurt, but you're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna do it anyway. Yeah, 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 yeah. We have come to the end of today's class. Thank you for those of you that needed to get my number so you can get into our mentorship program for the rest of the year. You keep hearing from me, keep learning from me. This is my phone number. You can reach out on WhatsApp to sign up, or you can send us an email at leadersforum@gmail.com. But I'll see WhatsApp faster, please. My email is far. I have several emails for my different businesses. So you can send a DM to that number on WhatsApp, okay? And just tell me, Coach, I'm ready to sign up. That is what I want to hear. But if you have a question, you're still free to ask as we connect to getting into the growth garden. Yes, getting into the growth garden. Have you learned something today? If you have learned something today, type learned, 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 learned. How many of you are ready to go do something about this? How many of you are ready to go implement? How many of you are ready to go do the work? We have laid the foundation. We are just starting. We still have 7 more days to go. Oh my God. you are not you cannot even begin to fathom what is coming the next 7 days. It's going to be on fire. Tomorrow we're starting with the systems blueprint, the systems settings. We're going to be starting with that tomorrow. So all the things that you have learned, you see how you can begin to put them together one step at a time, so it becomes easier for you to really put yourself together. To get results, to be productive in 2026. My prayer, my wish, my hope, my desire for every one of you is that 26 is going to be your best year ever. 26 is going to be your best year ever. You want to have designing a productive um, year by next year, 2027, and I will have you in my inner circle come and tell your story. So next year, we're looking at maybe a storytelling pattern for designing a productive year, where I will bring you on board, all right, to come and tell your story, your unique angle, your unique experience of productivity. That's what I'm looking forward to. So that all that we are learning here, we go ahead and implement, we get results, and then we set ourselves on fire for 27 as well. All right. I'm glad you've learned. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So our compass guide will be available tomorrow for value discovery and really structuring your project in a way that it will help you and next your productivity on a deeper level to be available tomorrow at a flash sale for 24 hours. $1. That's 1,500 naira. It will be available tomorrow. Get your money ready if you want to get it. Okay. But for those of you that are getting into the membership, you're going to have access to those things for free. You don't have to pay. Okay. But just lock your spot so I get on board. All right. I want to celebrate you all. Thank you so much for coming on board. I'll be expecting you to send me a DM for those of you that want to get on board. So by tomorrow we're meeting again. I think many of you showed up today. Should we do 8 p.m. tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday. Can I do 8 p.m. tomorrow? I'm not too sure. But I think since will work best for me tomorrow. I have some other coaching calls by that time. Okay, so thank you for your time. I love you all. Bye for now. Bye bye.